Yeah. So me and me catch it. Say, I wouldn't be surprised. Me, I was even expecting say it will happen at the end of the season. But Enra in Penyufono thought it wise, said they would allow him to go major no quarantine so. And well, Nkobeka say ABI is surprising, but
and surprising.
Every day been surprising me.
Kofi, what happened? Because me had to say when I make the same thing as actually garbage ram. Say Mimi Jitum. Say Rosenior or Nadia cry. With the kind of result or the amateurs, is so bad. But for a coach to say, look, players no ebi omuko G FIFA Club World Cup. Enti emamu ye say Chelsea a good team.
Yeah.
A complete team no. Enti sa. Because the fundamentals no cry no. Players didn't mean yet. So pass the ball, baby so dignity ball, baby so control ball pass no and go to me no. I think that Mamu Munshan say okay obe wanya de. Enti na some bi obeka bia no. Sebi more pressure and pass it. I think you should scrutinize it. Very, very important. Because for a coach to say players now can say no more. I feel so only a finished product. No, what's the fundamentals go mean here? It's serious issue.
Rich, said the Chelsea issue is a very big one. It is just unfortunate that Liam Rosenior became the one who was caught in the trap. In the sense, when you look at all the things that have happened with Chelsea in the lead up to Omuwini FIFA Club World Cup, right? Omuwini UEFA Conference League, and then there was a lot of hype around Enzo Maresca, the kind of team he was building. Now, Oshe entering into this season, the problems that could be foreseen alone with the playing body now, everybody would have attributed to the fact that I was in Penyufono maybe Liam Rosenior, when you look at him very carefully, Otimu said he had good intentions, but the problems at Chelsea are bigger than him. That there are times, no, even the immediate cause of the sack, the game against Brighton. And now, I say, in psychology, we have something called attributional conflict.
Yeah.
Omuwi a game, no. Yebisa Rosenior say, what were you expecting to see from your players? Or say fighting spirit. And you didn't see that from the players. You be in Yebisa Chaloba.
Is it not true?
No, Rich Meba. And Yebisa Chaloba say, what is wrong? And he said that the team is tired, the players are tired. Look at the number of games they have played this season, Rich. The players are tired. Rosenior attributing the loss to a lack of fighting spirit. Chaloba attributing the loss to tiredness on the side of the team. So when you look at the conflict or the mismatch between the two, the resultant effect is that both the playing body and the managers cannot trust themselves. And it's more on the part of the players. They cannot trust the manager because they've thrown them under the bus. You, the manager, we expect you to defend us, or at least say something that would give us something that Kasa na yen say you have spoken the language of the players, but you spoke in such a way that throws us under the bus, and that is an erosion of psychological safety. Because I was saying players, no, they can have that comfort playing for Chelsea, knowing that even if they've made a mistake, their coach will not go and speak to the press or will not go and speak to the world in such a way that demeans them. It's in Penyufono at the top. When they see something like this, it is easy for them to take a decision because, yes, they say the FIFA, we still have a trophy to win, FA Cup semi-final. And if we win that game, we are in the final. So when the psychological safety has been eroded and you have attributed the loss in different circumstances to different things, then there's no need for you, Rosenior, to continue. And it is so sad because Usha, the reason why I always say you can say that he's tired. You can say that he's tired. And there's very little he can say that would not make him look bad. He always has to put up a good face. Now, Usha, the kind of person that Liam Rosenior, he's the person who wants to speak well, who wants to come politically correct, or person or kasana amount for who say onimejuma. But the truth about Chelsea, Jumani say, you cannot hide behind the facade of being a nice guy. Your results must demonstrate the fact that you know what you are doing, and that is not what you are
seeing. Is it not a matter of my brain?
That's what
my
I'm saying.
Diplomatic achadodo. There be a ball game. We are not better than me defend the players. Me defend woman, and I mean as I'm making is on record. Every Chelsea game be on my bubia. So Ankoya coach in the press conference. Or G2 or G blame the man. Or feel say it's time as well. Maybe we are saying there was a look. Problem ni ebi ameme o me de. But problem ni be players no.
Which is why I was say
me defend them sir.
Which is why Rich Impenyufo at the top leading the Bluco consortium. I was say omushenye maybe and they need to ask themselves questions. Self-reflection now omudia statement when so no. They will have to do it well.
Okay.
Because when you look at the Bluco consortium now, Todd Boehly was the chairman of the Bluco consortium, and in fact he still is. But over the last few days, no, Nipa or Kasapan eye Bedad Egbali.
Yeah.
And Bedad Egbali no clearly capital no are the majority shareholders of the Bluco consortium, about 61.5%. The thing I'm trying to say is that it is quite clear, say at the top, no, they have not agreed on so many things. But Todd Boehly and Bedad Egbali are making. They have not agreed on so many things. So the conflict is starting from there. And in terms of decision making, oh yeah, yenfa example be keke. I mean, yeah, example being Chelsea here. Bedad Egbali, no, was pushing for the Earls Court Stadium infrastructure development. And on Chelsea, a movie from Stamford Bridge to Earls Court. Now we see new 60,000 capacity stadium or Earls Court. But look at Todd Boehly. He thinks otherwise. Right?
Okay.
He thinks that it is better that the team stays at Stamford Bridge and it is developed at least 55,000 capacity. These two things alone and the fact that they could not agree tells you that a lot of other decisions that are being taken at the top there are decisions that at the end of the day it will affect what is happening on the pitch. And since Bluco is taking over Chelsea 2022 till now, look at the number of managers that have passed through the club. So what is the way forward? That self-reflection is something that also say now if there are issues at the top, they need to iron out those issues. Because you cannot say that we are managing a team like Chelsea that already has its tradition and its values and its principles. And then because of the fact that we have invested our money and we have taken over and we have some conflict at the top, it affects everything else. It affects the whole structure.
Okay.
The fans themselves will begin to, it becomes a very difficult situation to handle. Because you and the fans will always be at loggerheads. And you cannot get the results that you want. You cannot invest Usika with the expectations that Sika alone will change the fortunes of the team on the field of play.
Well,
that is where he has to start from.
Okay. Leonard Tonford, I say blame Mikel Obi.